forgot to turn on my mic. Hello, my name is Holden Woods, and this is my mechanic for my driver presentation. I'll just go ahead and start the level here and go through the gameplay. Hold on, I didn't show this. This box is not pushable unless you walk over here and turn on that button. Yay. So here is the pressure plate. It has a frame and a plate itself. When you step on it, that's what happens. And if you walk over here, you're like, oh my god, I can't progress. Yeah, because this box needs to be pushed on there in order to progress. And we're gone. And I fell off the map again. Oh man. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm button here reveals tiles, and this puzzle here is really kind of a memory puzzle. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I cheated because I made the level. Whatever. So this this button here reveals a gate right here, and that pressure plate at the top is what opens it. And it allows you to get access to the root tile. And that's pretty much it. Moving on to the logic. So you need to go ahead and why is it showing that? Excuse me, I thought I didn't have a plate because it just shows the frame and the icon. Strange. Okay, so yep, I went ahead and made these two child blueprints. These are child blueprints of the BP tile. So yep, I went ahead and made these two meshes, the plate mesh and the frame mesh. I did not add a timeline for it. You can animate the button if you want. I didn't. I figured that the color change was enough, and you can make the frame or the plate change color. It's just preference. So I started by right-clicking on the graph, hit event on entered. That's exit. So event on entered. I connect these two output nodes to these two input nodes, and then I'm checking to see if the player that has entered or overlapping the tile is the player or the box. And on cast, if the player cast fails, we check to see if it's a box. If it is a box, we go through with the logic flow of activating the event. After the event is activated, I created an overlapped actors node and I incremented it. And after the activating event logic starts, I created a B is active boolean, set it to true, and have that be the condition of the branch, because B is active is set to false, so you can't not have it set to true if you're activating the event. And of course, if it is true and the condition is true, we play this sound of the pressure plate, and we set it to make sure it's true while we go through this logic here, which opens the door itself. And here I have the frame. I set its material, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So I activate the plate, play a sound, and change its color here. I changed it to blue using a set material node. And then this is where the child blueprint of the door first comes into play. You create a reference to it, and you check to see if it's valid, because you make it instance editable. And if you select the floor tile, well, you don't want your floor tile to move. exiting, it's the same thing you're doing on entered. It's the same thing I did on entered, my bad. And I decremented the overlapped actors because I want it equal to 0. And if it's not equal to 0, that means there is still an entity on the tile and I cannot deactivate the pressure plate. So that's pretty much it. For the deactivating event, I have isActive set to false automatically in the default value on the details panel. And if that's true, if it is false, we get the actor location, play a sound, and then of course change its color. This is set to false again. So again, while running through this logic, door ref is valid, go through the closed door. And on the door tile, I have a door and a frame. Of course, you can make this however you want, as long as you understand that it's door and frame. Yeah. So for the actual door, I have this comes into play towards the end with these 3 functions. And the boulder gate door, I'm just gonna say door. I pulled its relative location, set it to a variable, and you pull its relative location again. You set its current x. I set its current x location to a variable. So you just pull off this promote a variable, set it, name it current x location, and here I created another variable, named it roll distance, so I could have the timeline. So I could have it roll at a certain distance. You can mess with this if you need to. I messed with it a little bit and found that 200 was the best number. So yeah, so I've created another boolean called isDoorOpen. I set it to true before the timeline plays. Yeah. So basically, I've recorded the current location of the door, set a new location for the door to move, also set the door bool to open. So this is the door's start location. I want the door to always move from this location. And then, yeah, I just played a sound. It's that lovely, it's very loud. And then of course, after the sound, while the sound is playing, I have this TL roll boulder, timeline roll boulder. For this, I just added 2 keys, one at 2.5, 2.43, and one at it's not 0. It should be 0025, and I have the length set to 1.5. Okay, back to the event graph. After this, I use the lerp node and grab my current x location from the start of the event graph here. Pulled it from my blueprint panel, set it to A, have my B set to the roll distance, and my alpha from the timeline. Mr. Tackett had it set to ease. It's works the same way. I just chose lerp because I'm used to using lerp. It'd be lerpy. It's lerpin time. Alright. And after we have the lerp node set, we grab the door again. We want to set the actual door's location because we're moving the door and animating the door. So yep, this is a relative location, and you just split this. I just split this pin, and yeah, I then grab my doors open, isDoorOpen. Gosh, isDoorOpen variable, boolean, connect it to a branch, and depending on whether it's true or false, set interval to true or false. If it's false, you don't want anything going through the door. If it's true, nothing can go through the door. So my door function here, I'll go through that in a second. I'm back to the pressure plate. For the deactivating event, it's basically the same thing except it's false. Been through this. And for closed door, I set is the door open to false because the door's been closed. I play the sound, lovely sound, very nice sound. I love hearing it. And that's pretty much it for the actual door movement. And yeah. So the interval, I guess I'll start with this stuff here. So this is just the tie-in with the fog of war mechanic that I've implemented. Basically, fog of war mechanic works off a post-process volume in an infinite extent. I have a material that masks everything. I have this, literally it's void. And if I do this, I have the and that's set to unlit, so I can see everything while editing the level. And yeah, if I don't have this marked, it just doesn't work. That's what the level actually looks like. Alright. Moving on. So this reveals the door. I've established that. And set door hidden is field is set to false. I have this in my tile map. I have this variable just in case I need to tell Blueprints that this tile was revealed and isn't. And in order to do that, I just change the render custom depth. If it's true, it doesn't work. Saying that the post-process ignores that specific thing. And yeah. So this just reveals a gate animation function. And like I said, the return door to start, I want it to be, I need to show where this function plays. So after the door is hidden, we I don't think where is this function? Oh, right here. If it's false, if the door is not open, right, I want it to return to the start. Okay, so I added this logic here to return the door to its starting location using a timer by function node, and only if it is not interval. Okay, I guess I'm saying that I used this node so I could time when the timeline animation finished. That makes sense. Okay, and that's pretty much it for my driver presentation. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.